What's up, my dudes? Is MX Simulator worth $40? The answer is no. It's worth $400. So I find it to be quite cute when some of you kids out there make your is MX Simulator worth the money videos, and meanwhile, you've only played the game for a month and a half and you couldn't possibly understand what MX Simulator is actually all about in that amount of time. You just couldn't. This game takes years and years before you fully understand what MX Simulator is even about. Like, that's how long it takes to get to the skill required to actually understand the full movement of the game and the full potential of the game. You have to get to a certain level before you even realize that. Like, for instance, in real life, if you're not really that good on a dirt bike, then you may not even realize how much fun it is to whip all the way backwards in real life. Or, if you're not that good on a real life dirt bike, you may not understand how much fun that is to hit a 300-foot jump or, going wide open fifth gear on braking bumps on a motocross track. You might not ever understand how much fun that really can be if you never get to that certain skill level in real life. And it's the exact same with MX Simulator. I feel like that's why a lot of people, they sort of stray away from it because they never get to that point where the game starts becoming really, really fun. They never actually get to that skill level, and they think that's just the whole game. They think the whole game is that super restricted, like you jump up in the air and you can barely move, and all those little things that you sort of feel when you first get into the game. That all changes over time when you get better and you start making your setup more loose and you just get more movement on the bike and you start learning the bike, and all of that gets better. It gets to the point where it's literally reflex but with more control. That's what MX Simulator gets to, and a lot of people just don't understand that. They don't realize that. And I think a lot of people, they just don't understand what sort of full package they're actually getting with MX Simulator. They don't understand that you can literally put anything you want to in this game. Any kind of track, any kind of object, any kind of bike, anything you want to do. You can literally put a horse model in place of the dirt bike and be riding on a horse, dude. Like, you can actually do that in this game. You can put any sort of bike skin that you can possibly think of. You could put your own alien models into the game and put them on your space track. You could put your own palm trees in the game, make your own water in the game, put your own skybox into the game. You can put anything you want to in this game. It is fully customizable to the absolute maximum. And the thing about it is it's not that difficult to do it. That's the whole crazy thing about MX Simulator. You don't have to be this just insane video game technician level dude, game maker, to be able to make custom tracks in this game. That's why you see so many custom tracks in MX Simulator, because it's not that hard to actually make them in the game. And that's why there's just so much content and just thousands and thousands of custom tracks, every sort of biome you could possibly imagine, just about, especially with me going in there and making some of my crazy biome tracks that I have in the past, and just all the different you've got every sort of replica skin from all the way back to, good lord, man, probably like 2010, somewhere around there. You've got every single replica Supercross track to almost an exact T of how it was in real life. Every single replica outdoor national track, every single replica MXGP track. I mean, it's just insane. And that's just talking about the replica tracks. That's not even talking about just the random community-made tracks, the fun little kind of off-series tracks. And, I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And this game, to me, is just the amount of hours that you can actually put into a game like this. The people that sort of think about, is it worth the money? I don't even know how you can even ask that question. I honestly don't. When you compare it to other motocross games, the amount of time that you can put into this game, skill gap wise, I don't even know how it's comparable to any other motocross game. I mean, if it is comparable, like I'm saying, this game should be like $400 or $4,000. I mean, when you compare it to the amount of time you can put into this game, those other games just get to that point where you either feel like you're totally burnt out on the content. You've rode on every single track 10,000 times, and you're like, goodness gracious, dude, when is the next motocross game going to come out? Or you've gotten to that point where you've just absolutely maxed out the skill in one of those arcade motocross games that you feel like there's just no more. It's not fun anymore because you can't get any faster. But with MX Simulator, those two things are unlimited in this game. There is no limit to how fast you can go in MX Simulator. You can always get a little bit faster, and that's what's crazy about it. Just at the moment when you think you're at your maximum, when you think you're as fast as you can possibly go in MX Simulator, you think there's no way people could go any faster than that, then all of a sudden you realize people are faster than you at that level in the game. And so then you keep working at it. You keep playing the game. You keep getting better. Finally, you get to that one level that you thought was impossible. And then you think, okay, surely I'm at the maximum speed in the game. Surely I'm at the just wide open. No one can be possibly going any faster than this. And then someone hops in that server and laps you. And then, you keep working at the game, you finally get to that level, and then there's somebody a little bit faster than you, and then they're a little bit more consistent than you, or whatever, they're a better racer than you. There's all these like real life sort of techniques and things that goes into MX Simulator that you just don't find in these other motocross games. That's what makes it so different in that sense, is it's like there's so many real life type of scenarios in the pro racing in this game that you have, and the amateur racing, and both of those different things in there. You actually get nerves when you pro race in this game because you know how big of a deal it is. You know how hard it is to get to that skill level. It actually feels like a very high level of competitive gaming when you get to the pro level in this game. And so that just adds on to that. You're not going to be able to do good in pro racing in this game if you can't handle the nerves of it. I mean, it like almost actually gives you real life racing nerves whenever you get to a pro level. And you'll even get those nerves a little bit just like beginner racing random people in the game too. That's what's cool about it. There's like so many levels to it that you work through. Like when you first get into the game, it's so much fun because it feels like you're on a real life dirt bike for the first time again. You're like, whoa, dude, this is crazy. This is like having you can just feel it in the way that the bike feels if you have your stability set up right, and a couple little different like kind of beginner settings that you got to get set up, like raising your braking torque, and making sure your stability is high enough, and then slowly working that down when your skill level raises up. Once you get that thought in your head and you get that realization that it literally feels like a real life dirt bike, man, there's just no other feeling like it. I don't know. There is just no other feeling like that. And then trying to learn the whips is like it's a whole other thing that you could just spend endless amounts of hours on. Then trying to learn like how to scrub versus whip, and then learning turn up whips, and then learning how to wheelie, learning how to do stoppies. All of those little things take you, I'm talking months and months and months to master. Every little aspect of the game takes so long to master. The whoops in this game is like so realistic, it's not even funny, dude. I mean, when you first hit whoops in this game, you're just going to die like 10,000 times over in a row. Kind of like how if you hit whoops in real life, if you've never hit whoops before, you're not just going to glide over those motherfuckers hitting the whoops wide open, leaning back like you do in these other arcade motocross games. You actually have to have technique or you're going to crash. You understand? Like, you actually have to hit your front wheel on every single whoop when you go over them. It's like this full technique system to the game that you just don't even remotely find in any other motocross game. And this game, there's actually throttle control. I know it sounds so stupid, but these arcade motocross games, you get so used to just holding it wide open everywhere. You don't really have to like hold the bike up in the arcade motocross games. It kind of does that for you. So MX Simulator brings this whole new layer of like, you actually have to have bike balance and control and be able to lean in the corners properly, and that's where your throttle control comes in, because if you don't have throttle control, it's going to realistically spin out in the corners, and then you get to a point where you actually want it to spin a little bit in the corner on some supercross corners to keep your speed going, like the really fast pros in real life supercross. And so, it's just like so many levels and layers that you go through at this game, and most people just don't understand that because they don't get far enough into it. And I'm trying to kind of go in here and show you guys a couple of different, just absolutely completely polar opposite variations of tracks right here. So this is actually one of my custom tracks that I've made. This is Tropical Storm, and you can adjust all the different tractions on the track, put any sort of decal you can possibly imagine. I could make this ground right here like lava. I could make it grass. I can make it sand. Anything you want to put into the game, any object you want to put into the game, you can go in there and 3D model any sort of object. You could put a Spitzer Turley full life statue in the game and put that down on the track, or you can make your own tough block with your own whatever kind of team or YouTube channel on your tough block, or whatever kind of object you want to make. Anything you want to put into this game, you can do it. It's really not that difficult to do it either. That's the just unreal thing about the game. But I was trying to go in there and show you guys some of the like replica tracks. I showed you guys Redbud, then I showed you guys Arlington Supercross, and then I showed you guys one of my outdoor custom tracks, which was Space Beach, and then showing you guys this right here, my Tropical Storm, kind of like hybrid-y Supercross track. And with MX Simulator, you have every kind of racing. You're not limited to anything. You're not limited to like, oh, this is just a Supercross only game, or oh, this is just Supercross, motocross, and free riding in the game. You have it all depends on what the track maker wants to make. I can make a hill climb track. I could make a damn square rhythm track, circle rhythm track, straight rhythm track, supercross track, hybrid track, motocross track, trail track, enduro cross track. Anything you can possibly imagine terrain-wise that a dirt bike can go over, you can make it in this game. And people don't understand that. You make your own ruts, you make your own corners, you go in there and specifically tune every little part of the track. And it's like, dog, that is way more worth $40. I mean, it is just, the people that even, that's what I'm saying, the people that even question, is it worth $40? I don't even understand where your mind comes from. How could you even question that? And it mind baffles me, the amount of people that only have the demo of this game, or they're like, man, I haven't really invested into MX Simulator. Dude, you're not even a motocross fan if you're not invested into MX Simulator. Straight up. I don't even believe you're a motocross fan. I'm saying that right now, truthfully, honestly. If you've not got into MX Simulator and it doesn't put a smile on your face at some point in time, you are not even a motocross fan, man. Like, this game is amazing. This is the just like, I can't even believe this is even a thing. I can't even believe the physics of a game is made so perfect. You know how most games out there, even the best of the best games, there's still certain things that you don't really like about the game. And of course, MX Simulator has its flaws in certain occasions. Like, they're trying to get their terrain deformation systems working really good. And that's something that's kind of like a work in progress. There's certain things like, the graphics aren't quite up to par with some of your more recent games, but this game did come out in 2007, and on top of that, it not having crazy graphics makes it to where anybody can get into this game. You could hop on this game on your mom's PC and fucking run it, dog. I'm tired of hearing you guys say, well, we're console gamers because we can't afford a $5,000 gaming PC to play MX Simulator. Do you see these graphics, dude? You can play this game with any sort of PC out there. I'm telling you, you can lower your graphics and play this game. It does not require a crazy gaming PC. So it's like, dude, I'm telling you, this is the game of all time. I'm going to sit out here and preach it till the day I die, bro. It's just, with MX Simulator, the physics portion of it, I don't know how you could possibly make it any better. Now, the collision where you actually run into other riders and stuff like that, that might be able to use a little bit of work, but the actual feeling on the bike, like turning in the corners and leaning and how all that works, and seat bouncing in the game and shifting and the power curve of the realistic replica dynos of every single bike in the game. All of those elements put together just makes it like, I mean, this is like the definition of perfect when it comes to that aspect of a motocross game. And to me, that's the most important part to a motocross game, is how the bike actually feels, how the power on the bike actually feels, the skill gap of it, how much throttle control you got to have, how much movement you have on the bike. All that kind of stuff is what makes MX Simulator the greatest of all time, because it does it absolutely perfectly. So yes, people, MX Simulator, it's worth the money. If you were on the borderline edge, on the fence, thinking about buying this game, let me make the decision for you. Go ahead and buy it, dude. It'll be the best $40 you've ever spent in your life. You're sitting over here spending $60 on every single one of these arcade motocross games that comes out, and you don't even understand the magic of MX Simulator. I've put so much time into this game. It's unfathomable. It's absolutely unfathomable, and I'm still having fun with it, even with the thousands and thousands of hours over years and years. I remember playing this game for so long in one day, in one sitting, that, I mean, like, I couldn't even feel my hands anymore, dude. My thumbs would be just completely ruined. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, I've never had that sort of experience with any other game in my life. That's what I'm saying. If you're any sort of motocross fan in real life, this has got to appeal to you in some kind of degree. Do not get all caught up in the way the demo looks. There's so much more to it, man. You've got all your different real-life team skins you can put on bikes, different bike models. You got Yamaha models, Suzuki models, KTM models, Husqvarna models, old school, 500 Kawasaki models. You've got 85 skins, and it's just crazy. I mean, you've got anything you can possibly imagine can be put into MX Simulator. Anything you can imagine. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. You know how a lot of these game companies, they'll kind of like make claims on their website like endless possibilities and blah, 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 blah. MX Simulator actually has endless possibilities. That's actually what the game is. It's one of those things where there really is endless potential for this game. Dude, go out there, buy the game, do yourself a favor, do it right now. Don't wait another second, and just watch some of my guide videos if you're having trouble with the game, or whatever. Watch my beginner guide video. Look that up, man. Spencer Turley beginner guide video. Tried to go in there and explain a lot of those, little hiccups you get into when you first get into the game. And if you're having trouble on the whoops, go watch my whoop guide video. I'm trying to really get guides for every single aspect of this game, and because I want to see people get better. I want to see the community grow. I want to see there become more pro racers. I want to see that. I want to see where it gets to the point where it's like the amount of people that's in real life racing, but in the virtual world. I want to see big prize pools. I want to see all this stuff, man, because this game deserves it. This is the platform for that. People don't understand that, but this is the way. So either way, I appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.